This is part 2 of that first video. As I said, this is over closer to my turmeric, so they're doing well. I've got 3 or 4 plants in this one and 4 over there, so I apologise about the noise. I've just added some more. This is cauliflower leaves and bases and stuff. I did a fair bit of cauliflower last night. You can see there's a nice grub in there and that. And I'm feeding the worms and also feeding the grubs, but I don't seem to have any damage on my plants, so I think it's working, giving them somewhere to go and somewhere to compost down to and eat all the whatnots, everything that's not being used. Just quickly turn around and we'll have a look at my corn. Corn's doing pretty well. So you can hear the birds having a good old chatter. There's a couple of galahs, pink galahs. They like getting into the mangoes over the road, so always noisy. As you can see, there's pretty thick corn. I've already explained that I've put this in little blocks in a grid formation, so it's doing pretty well. You can see that down there is not doing that well, but it's also underneath the mango tree, so I didn't expect it to do too well. As you can see, that this one here, this side of this plot is planted at a later date than that one over there, so but it is catching up pretty quick. So it's just a testament to how quick corn gets up in boogies, and sometimes when you give them a bit of good ground and a bit of water and a good bit of fertilizer and get them pretty thick like this, the wind here is not knocking them around this year because they're really thick, so they're holding each other up really well. I also went and grabbed a couple of blueberry tomatoes. I've grown these a few years now. Pretty good. They do very well. They produce very well, and they're good for throwing a bit of colour into a salad or into chutneys and stuff like that. And they're really sweet, and they've also got a bit of a tang to them, so they're pretty good. I'll just quickly duck around and I'll show you some new additions. Now this is a little bit noisy, but these are my new ducks. I got 4 ducks for my missus, and as you can see, there's 3 bigger ones and 1 smaller one, and as I was told, the 3 bigger ones are actually female and the smaller one is a male, so hopefully that rings true. But they're just starting to feather up, so they're growing well. Probably quadrupled in size from when I got them. They were only probably about as big as the quail now. I've got them in with the quail at the moment, but they'll only be in with the quail for another probably couple of weeks, and then they'll be let out and let roam around my garden to start doing their job of collecting their snails and slugs and all the bugs, and hopefully not destroying my gardens in the process because they won't scratch. So I'm just trialling this and seeing what happens, but yeah, we'll see what happens in the long term, and hopefully I don't end up having to lock them up and keep them away from my gardens, because I would like them in there as pest control.